Hey everybody, it's Marcus Crawford here again with the Idaho Quadcopter channel, and again today I have the little Autel Evo Nano Plus. So I've seen some issues with this drone, the worst of which has been shaky video, and then the other day when I was flying it, it quit recording to the SD card. At least the full resolution file, it quit recording halfway through the video. It continued to record the thumbnail file. So let me tell you what I did is I had a Samsung Pro card, 120 megabit write speed. I use that card because it's got the fastest write speed of commonly available cards. But I switched it out and I put a SanDisk Extreme Pro card in there, the one with the black label on it, red and black. And that one is good for, I believe it's a 95 megabit write speed. So not quite as fast as the Samsung, but it's a different card. And we will eliminate that possibility that it was a problem with the SD card. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do today is people have had some suggestions on the video issues, the little shake and Jello issues that I've seen. They've said that since that original update several weeks ago, the first update that I did with the drone, when I first got activated the drone and got it going, it had an update immediately. What we did was, what he said to do was to reset the gimbal parameters, and evidently that update has some new gimbal parameters. I don't know. I'm going to do it. We're going to go in there into the app and we're going to reset gimbal parameters. Hopefully that'll help. The other thing is a number of people noticed that I did not have anti-flicker on my video. So I'm going to go ahead and put that, change that and have anti-flicker on. Then finally, a number of people have suggested that you need to uninstall the Sky app and reinstall it, and evidently that helps solve some problems. So we'll do all of that, and the first thing we'll do is do the app, and then we'll get going here. I'll get everything fired up and we'll walk through those other settings. Hey, so it is a cold day in Idaho here today. There's very little wind. I think it said 4-mile-an-hour gusts, so next to nothing. However, it is cold. It is 37 degrees, but I want to stress that is well above what Autel says this drone can handle. It says this drone is good for 14 degrees Fahrenheit on the low end. It's 37 degrees today, so we're a solid 13 degrees, or excuse me, 23 degrees above what they say the minimum is. So temperature shouldn't be a problem. In any case, let's get started, and I'm going to reinstall that app. Okay, we've got everything fired up, and it's saying that it's ready to go. Let's go into the settings menu, and we are going to look at camera, I think is where we'll probably find that anti-flicker. So yeah, so we're going to turn anti-flicker on 60 hertz. This is the US. And I am looking for the gimbal. Yeah, here it is. Gimbal manual adjustment, gimbal angle. I don't see anything here that says to reset the gimbal parameters. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a gimbal calibration and let it auto calibrate. And I'm watching the gimbal go through its motions, and it's in a flat area where it can do so. So we're just about done. It's looking all around. It says calibration succeeded, so we're good there. So because I don't see anything that says anything about changing the, well, let's go, I'm going to look at no, I'm not going to go into that manual. Well, yeah, let's take a look at it. Yeah, that just gives you some controls there, so we're not going to mess with that. So I'm going to click finish there. We're not going to mess with that. Let's go back into camera, and I'm going to reset, camera reset. and let's see what that does. So default, we're setting the camera parameters to default, and now that turned off anti-flicker. And it set it to H.264. So you know what? I'm going to turn that anti-flicker on, and yeah, let's just try this out and let's just see what happens. And hopefully, whoops, didn't mean to get out of the menu. So yeah, so it says safe to fly. So I don't see any reason why we can't take off. It is. I'm not gonna start recording until we get it in the air, because this guy, it shuts down recording and starts it again when you take off anyway. I'm trying to touch, there we go. I did an auto takeoff there. Took me just a second. And it's wanting to give me instructions because we reloaded that app, but let's start recording now. Well, let's look at the camera menu first. Okay, it's wanting me to go through all these instructions on the app, so so I guess I have to do that to get out of that menu. I don't know. Okay, so we're done with the tutorial there. So let's go into the camera menu, and yeah, we're in 4K 30, and frame rate, yeah, it's just 30 frames per second. So we're good there. Just wanted to make sure we had it 4K 30. There we are. So we're recording again. And so, gosh, I guess the first thing to do is, and we only have 77% battery. I charged this battery a few days ago, so I'm sure it was auto discharging. I'm going to drop that gimbal down just a tad, and we're going to do our usual droney, but hopefully, there we go. I kind of had to adjust the vector a little bit to get through those trees. And there we are. Pick that gimbal back up just a tad. And I see I don't have grid lines on there because when I reset everything, it turned them off, but that's fine for now. What we're mostly interested in is the video quality here. So let me drop that gimbal down a little bit and get it more kind of that rule of thirds. And we'll just fly around here a little bit. We'll look at the speed and see what kind of speed we get, because there's been some consternation about that. So let's see, I was looking at battery. 76% is on the controller. Looks like we have 90% on the drone battery. And we are in standard mode, and it's in kilometers per hour, 32. I meant to change that to meters per second. So when we reloaded the app, I lost my settings. So let's turn around the other way, and we'll go back into the menu, and it may make me stop recording to do that. We'll see, and we'll try that speed out. So I'm going to go into the menu, and yeah, it's not going to let me. I got to stop recording. And boy, it's taking its time. And in the menu here, and okay, where is that at? Control? Yeah, so I want to go meters per second. And the advertised speed on this thing is 10 meters per second. So let's get out of there. Let's start recording. And full stick forward. So top speed in standard mode is 10 meters per second. And boy, my fingers are cold. And look, we're almost there. So speed-wise, I'm saying it's good. And we have very little wind today. So I think some of those other speed problems were going into the wind. I can say almost with certainty that was the issue that I saw. I think it was all wind related. When I went into the wind, the drone went slower as it naturally would. Let's go this way, full stick forward. See if we can get up to that top speed. And we're close. Yeah, that's not quite 10 meters per second. Let me back it up here, and we're going to go back the other way again and just try that out one more time. And I know this is a little bit redundant, but it's just testing some of the issues that people have talked about and have seen with this drone. So back heading due east here. We're full stick forward now, again in standard mode, so it should just pick right up to that 10 meters per second, which is the advertised top speed in standard mode. And it's getting there. 9.5. Now it's slowing down a little bit, so not quite. Wasn't quite as fast going this direction. Okay, let's turn it around again, and we're going to go into sport mode, and we'll give that a try here. So, sport mode, and of course that turns off obstacle avoidance. And full stick forward. And it's 15 meters per second is the advertised top speed in sport mode. And we are at about 12 meters per second. And it seems to be stuck there. I saw that the other day when I was out in the field. The fastest I got it up to was 12 meters per second. Okay, let's turn around and go the other way and make sure it's not a wind-related situation. And full stick forward. And again, it's going to be, well, it's less than. It's about 11 meters per second now. Okay, I got one more thing that I want to try in sport mode here. What we're going to do is we're going to turn off recording, and we're going to see if that makes a difference. That may be what that cryptic bullet point in the app was, or in the manual is referring to. So I'm going to turn off recording. Recording is off. Let's go full forward and see what kind of speed we get. See if it makes a difference. And for whatever reason, the drone kind of came to a stop there. I don't know. Okay, full stick forward again. "12 meters per second, that's as fast as I can go in sport mode, and it's advertised at 15 meters per second, and that is recording off, that's obstacle avoidance off, so nothing should be stopping it. Let's go back the other way again and confirm that. And yeah, 11 meters per second, so it's not even quite as fast going this direction. So, you know, all that theory that people are talking about, well, it's whether you're recording or not and so forth, yeah, I don't think so. So, anyway, let's go ahead and turn it around again. And I'm going to go back into just regular mode. Standard mode, I think they call it. There's smooth, there's standard. So there is still a speed issue. I mean, I don't know what that is. There's virtually no wind, and it would only get up to 12 meters per second, which is about 25, 26 miles an hour. So I want to go across the street here a little bit and kind of take it out for a little flight. Let's grab some altitude. It's directly over the top of us here, and we're going to cross perpendicular here. And we're grabbing altitude as we go. Yeah, we're at about 36 meters. That's plenty. And I wanted to go over the field here because the way you can see the snow kind of has a mottled look to it here. When I was flying over this the other day, that seemed to kind of affect the video. You got that, some people call it moire effect on the snow. So I don't know if we're going to see that on the SD card on this one or not, but we'll find out. And let's go ahead and we might as well, as long as we're here. And I didn't even notice how fast we're going. Yeah, 10 meters per second. So we're at full speed in standard mode. And let's go clear out to the corner of the field out here. We did that the other day. And I am getting myself turned around so I'm facing the antenna directly towards the drone. I've got it pointed directly at the drone. And mind you, we're only 36 meters high. And the reason I'm doing this is because the other day when I got clear out to that corner, as I turned around and the angle of the antenna on the drone changed, I had some FPV issues, dropouts on FPV. So just want to try it again as long as we're here. See what it looks like, and we were about pretty close to the same altitude, so it's going to be a good test. So we are right at the corner. We're going to stop right there. We're not going to cross that street, and we are going to yaw to the left, and let's see what happens here. Yeah, and it's giving me a control signal, a little bit of a control signal warning. But this time, yeah, now it's giving me signal weak. But let me tell you, FPV is perfect. It is perfect. This is great. And again, this is a challenging Wi-Fi environment here. I'm going to do a return to home, and let's just see what the drone does. So it shouldn't change its altitude. We had the return to home altitude set at 30 meters, and it's already at 36 meters, so it should just be on just an absolute straight vector back to us, and here it comes. And I'll cancel it when it gets over the top of us, and I think what we need to do when we get it back is we need to try some of the intelligent flight modes out, right? I've never done that with this guy because we've been so busy kind of testing video and testing speed, and you know, obviously the other day I had a problem with it saving, and it's pretty close to us now, about 650 meters, and I had that weak signal again, and I'm pointed directly at the drone. But in any case, I've been so involved in troubleshooting with this guy, we haven't really looked at all the features, and I know there's some of them that are available here. So we've got looks like 52% battery here, so we should be able to maybe try out a couple of features when we get it back, and we'll call it a flight. I apologize that it's such a dreary day today. This isn't an ideal, certainly not ideal lighting conditions, but on the other hand, this drone with its 0.8 of an inch sensor, larger sensor than on any other, than on most mini drones. I think the Xeno Mini Pro is the same size, but the video quality on this is much better than that drone. It should, the advantage in low light, that's where these bigger sensors are going to help, is in low light situations. So let's, there you can see me there, and I'm going to kind of drop the gimbal as it comes over the top of us here. And let's cancel right there. So we canceled, and let me bring the guy down. The drone is right in front of me here. And I want to bring it down. That's probably far enough. I want it high enough that it's going to miss any light poles or trees or anything around here. So I'm going to stop recording, and we're going to go into quick shots. So we got some quick shots here. Look at that. It's already got a plus sign on me. Shoot, let's try it. I clicked on that plus sign, and let's click go. And the one that I selected there, I think was Flickr or something, is giving us a countdown, and it started recording. Now, yeah, now it's, you know, we lost that square that was around me, but the drone is backing off now. This is pretty cool. This is the one, I think they called it a Flickr or something. So it'll return back to its starting point. And boy, it's not messing around. Look at how fast it's getting back to its starting point. That is cool. That's pretty neat. It's fun watching the drone fly above me. I wish I had a camera on that. Okay, so as soon as it gets back to its starting point, we did that flick. Let's do a fade away. Well, I don't want to do a fade away yet because let's do a rocket. And I'm going to click on me again, and it's got me centered. Let's click go. And I don't see any adjustments for that rocket, so it must just be a single, and it should keep the camera right on us as it rises above and goes directly above us. That's a pretty cool shot, and being able to automate that shot, you know, allows you to focus on other things like the camera. So it's done, and it's coming back down, and let me tell you what, it doesn't mess around when it trying to get back to its original starting spot. That's pretty darn cool. Okay, so we'll have to try another one here. Let's do an orbit, and let's pick clockwise, although it's not, yeah, it needs to be a little, I'm going to bring it down just a little. Yeah, there, well, maybe bring it in a little. There, it sees me. Well, it's got my car. There, it's got me. There, we got it. We're going to click go, and we'll get that countdown. And we should do a, excuse me, a counter. I think I said clockwise. It's a counterclockwise orbit. And I'm assuming that it's shooting in 4K, but we'll find out. I don't know, you know, like, I know the DJI Mini, even if you have the camera set in 4K, it stopped. It evidently lost me, so it didn't like that. So I think because I'm behind the truck here, so let's yeah, I mean, it just came to a stop. I'm gonna go back into quick shots, and yeah, it's still, so I don't know exactly what happened there. If it gave me some kind of a message, I didn't see it. Let's bring it closer. So there it sees me. Let's try it again. Okay, this time we're going to go clockwise. And how high are we now? We're only 16 meters high, so I'm going to keep an eye on the drone here. Yeah, and it's doing an orbit, but it's, yeah, no, that's something else again. That must have been that flick. Yeah, I know, okay, we got a little confused there, so that's what that was that flicker deal again. So I thought it was on orbit. That was probably operator error. I'll have to look at that. Yeah, it wants to return to home, so let's go ahead and let it return to home here. And we'll see if we get a precision landing. And it's going up to its 30-meter height. Yeah, down to 24% battery. And that's a parameter that you can change, by the way. Let's go back into video, start video. Will it let me? Cannot land, it says. But the thing is, it can. Okay, let's cancel that. Let's start recording. I'm gonna back the drone off, and we're gonna try this one more time here. Let's hit return to home. Return to home landing. So. Yeah, it's turning around. Okay, let's see. We still have 19% battery, so it's not like we're even close. You know, we're not in any kind of critical situation at all. Yeah, for some reason it doesn't want to land, so I'm going to click on landing, and it's coming down. And we're in a good situation here. We're although it's not even close. So you can see how far off of the pad it is. And it picked up the camera there at the last minute, so we're on the ground. I like that it stops recording. Okay, let me get everything shut down and we'll do a quick conclusion here. Hey, okay, the Autel Evo Nano Plus. Another flight with it today, and like I said, a cold day, probably not ideal lighting conditions. However, we tried out a few things. I reloaded the app. Honestly, I don't think reloading the app did anything. I don't think it changed a blessed thing. You saw the flight speed change when I was going into the wind. It did slow down a little bit, so I don't think any of the speed issues had anything to do with that app. The other thing that's a little mysterious is it's supposed to go 15 meters per second in the sport mode. I can't remember what their top speed mode they call it, their high speed mode. And all I could get it up to was 12 meters per second. So I don't know what that's all about. We tried it with recording off, recording on, and recording off. Didn't make any difference. People have suggested that you know, you have to stop and start recording, etc. I honestly just didn't see any difference there. So yeah, I don't know what that's all about. But then we turned on anti-flicker. And then somebody told me also to reset gimbal parameters. Well, there is nothing. I couldn't find anything in the menu that said reset gimbal parameters. So what I did was I did a gimbal calibration, and yeah, and that looked good. We did reset the camera parameters. Then I went back in and turned anti-flicker back on again. So we'll see how that looks, and we'll take a look at the video when I get home, and then hopefully whatever happened with the writing the high definition file last time I flew the drone, hopefully that didn't happen again. What I will say about that is that kind of messes with your confidence, because you're always going to be worried about, well, is the drone actually recording my file or not? And it isn't evident by whether you have the recording button hit or not, you know, so I don't know. So hopefully that resolved that. So I'm anxious to get home, take a look at the video off the SD card, and yeah, we'll see how it looks. So, oh, and we did try a couple of the intelligent flight modes. That wasn't, that was just, you know, we had some battery left, so I thought I would try that out. So we'll do that again sometime on a nice day when we can maybe even have a little better scenery to do it. The only anomaly I saw is when we were in orbit mode, as the drone got around on the other side of my truck over here, I don't think it could see me anymore, and it just came to a stop. But what was weird was it still was in the mode. In other words, it didn't drop out of the orbit mode. So I kind of had to manually go out, go back in. If there was a message on the FPV screen, I didn't see it. Maybe I'll see it on the replay, but I'll have to look at that again when I get home. But then I thought I was doing another orbit, and I ended up doing another flick, and it went off the other way, which I think that flick is pretty cool, so that was all right. And then our return to home, I have yet to have this guy, every time it comes down, it always tells me that it doesn't like, it's unsafe to land, it says. And you know, landing on concrete like this, and I can understand if it was just gray concrete and nothing else, but there's marks and stuff, so I don't know, there's variations here, so I wonder what kind of a surface it needs to tell it to land. And then also, you know, with regard to precision landing, you know, it was quite a ways off. So, but you know, I've seen that with a lot of drones. When you start using their intelligent flight modes, it tends to throw off that precision landing for whatever reason. But that's something I've noticed with a number of different brands. But at any rate, enough jibber jabber, as my friend Ron Brown says. Let's call this a video. That's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of video, please consider subscribing to my channel. And most of all, I absolutely appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And yeah, we'll see more from this little guy. We'll see you next time. The Autel Evo Nano Plus. See you guys later.